They get called queens a lot, not because of charts, not because of trophies, but because they understood what actually matters. On the 2nd of May 2018, 6 girls from Cube Entertainment released and from the first listen, it felt slightly off in a good way. I-dle debuted as a 6-member group with roots across Korea, Thailand, China, and Taiwan. That mix showed on stage, but the bigger difference was hidden in the credits. The debut song was written and composed by Soyeon herself. At the time, that kind of control from a rookie was rare. From a female rookie, even rarer. LATATA mixed moombahton and tropical house into something clean and easy to get into. It climbed fast, earning their first music show win just 20 days after debut and peaking at number 12 on the Korean digital chart. They caught attention almost immediately. But it was their follow-up that hinted at what was really coming. In August 2018, they released HANN. This time, the emotion sat heavier. The song spoke about betrayal, not softly, not politely. Lines like, "Do you remember what you said?" carried a cold tone. The use of traditional Korean sounds left the feeling hanging even after the song ended. It felt like a group comfortable sitting with emotions most K-pop avoided. Anger, bitterness, the parts of heartbreak that are usually cleaned up. Then, in October 2019, they stepped onto Queendom. They entered the show as rookies, standing next to groups with years of history. Every stage mattered. They needed something that could stand next to anyone there. In the middle of that pressure, Soyeon wrote,
제목은 파이트. 라이언이야. 라이언이야.
The song opened with a roar. It spoke about power, but also about space. Some lines went straight at the limits people tried to set on them. The performance spread fast, climbing to the top of YouTube trends and pulling views at a pace that surprised even longtime viewers. They placed third behind Mamamoo and Oh My Girl. The ranking faded fast. What stayed was the impact. Their music carried opinions, emotions, and direction. The groundwork was done. What followed would push even further. In April 2020, while the world sat in lockdown, I-dle released something no one expected. Oh My God arrived quietly, then froze the room. The song told a story about forbidden love, and the wording mattered. In a space where idols barely spoke about dating at all, this was a song openly centered on women loving women. The message did not stop at the lyrics. In the video, Minnie was dragged away and locked up. Soyeon appeared wrapped in barbed wire. Both were punished for loving the wrong person. Religious symbols sat next to desire and guilt, creating scenes people replayed again and again. When media asked Soyeon about the meaning, she kept her answer simple.
이 곡은 어떤 내용이냐면 뭔가 어떠한 현실의 부딪힘, 어떠한 부딪힘에서도 나를 믿는 과정을 사랑에 빗대서 전개한 그런 곡입니다.
She explained it simply. Love was the way she chose to talk about self-belief. Some people praised it, Others pushed back. But the conversation had already started, and in K-pop, starting that conversation mattered. They went on to perform the song on national television without changing a single word. No edits, no softening. Oh My God achieved a perfect all-kill. It showed that people were ready for this kind of music. Then came 2021. January brought a track built around fire and flowers, about letting something burn, so something else could grow. Lines about lighting a fire in a frozen heart hit differently this time. Korean and Chinese wordplay deepened the meaning, and the song swept 10 music show wins. It felt like the high point of the six-member era. But at the time, no one knew how close that frozen heart idea was to becoming real. A month later, in February 2021, bullying allegations came out about Soojin. By March, she entered hiatus. Group activities stopped. On the 14th of August 2021, Soojin officially left the group. 6 became 5. Positions changed. The dances had to be changed. Parts had to be passed around. The balance they had relied on was gone. Their next comeback would decide whether this chapter ended here or turned into something else. The 14th of March 2022 marked the moment K-pop had to really face G-I-dle. Tomboy arrived as their first comeback as 5, and it did not ease anyone in.
Tomboy.
The opening line set the tone right away. Direct, unbothered. The lyrics picked apart expectations one line at a time.
3, 2, 1.
Pushed back against fixed ideas of gender.
Do you wanna bump Barbie doll? It's not ya, I'm not a doll.
Rejected the perfect girlfriend image K-pop had leaned on for years.
You're my words as a prince, but this is Queendom, right?
Flipped the script completely. The video made the point even clearer. A Ken doll was poisoned and thrown into a trunk. The role of the ideal woman was thrown away without a second thought. Rock and punk sounds gave the song a harsher feel, and the styling moved away from sweetness towards something more personal.
Yeah, tomboy.
Reactions split fast. Some people thought it was too much. Others saw it plainly. 5 women choosing how they wanted to exist without asking permission. Billboard later named it the best K-pop song of 2022. The song swept charts with a perfect all-kill and stacked music show wins. But the real proof showed up elsewhere. In comments, in posts, in people saying the song finally sounded like how they felt. The same album carried My Bag, another track about owning who you are. Became a quiet flex for individuality. All 5 members rapped. Said everything on its own. But G-I-dle had one more message to deliver that year. On the 17th of October 2022, they released This time, the focus shifted to how women get reduced to bodies. The Marilyn Monroe concept pointed at how even icons lose their humanity in the public eye. And underneath it, Soyeon built something intentional. The title Nude was chosen so searches that often led to harmful content involving children would instead lead to art. In Korean, the group's name sounds similar to the word for children, So pairing it with the song title helped push those kinds of messed up searches toward music instead.
Why you think the partner to cause you feel so rude?
Called out the male gaze directly.
Yes,
They performed the song on Music Bank and even won first place, adjusting a few words to meet broadcast rules. The meaning still came through. Women decide how their bodies are seen.
누구세요? 누구세요? 부끄러워요. 부끄러워요.
2 releases in 1 year. Both clear. Both said exactly what they meant. At this point, they were no longer hinting at meaning. People were listening now. By 2023, I-dle had reached a point where no one could tell them what to say anymore. The real question was what they would choose to say next. In May 2023, they opened with Allergy, a pre-release that went straight for something Gen Z knew a bit too well. The song captured the quiet damage of constant comparison. Instagram and TikTok had turned self-worth into a numbers game, always running in the background. The lyrics did not dance around it.
I'm head of Instagram, head of TikTok.
What made the song hit harder was the tension inside it, wanting to love yourself while being frustrated that you cannot. The loop people fall into every time they scroll. The timing felt exact. Conversations about social media and mental health were finally happening out loud. 2 weeks later, they answered it. Queencard dropped on the 15th of May 2023, and it reframed everything Allergy had opened up. On the surface, it sounded like a celebration of being the pretty popular girl. Underneath, it was doing the opposite. The song poked fun at the idea of a Queencard while landing on something simpler. The video pulled from Mean Girls and White Chicks, exaggerating beauty culture until it looked ridiculous. The message stayed clear. Accepting yourself mattered more than fitting any standard. The song hit a perfect all-kill and earned 13 music show wins. The album passed 1 million sales. But what stayed with people was the path from Allergy to Queencard. Insecurity turning into self-love, step by step.
I'm a top super lady.
In January 2024, they returned with Super Lady. Loud, direct, built around confidence. The idea stayed consistent. Shape yourself before the world tries to do it for you. But before that, they had released their most talked about track yet. Wife arrived as a pre-release, pushing even further than Tomboy ever did. The video showed all 5 members dressed the same. Same wigs, same clothes, shoes locked together, a blank white space around them. You understood it right away. Women boxed into roles with no space to move. The lyrics sounded playful on purpose.
Hello. I cook cream soup, taste is coca-loco. Want me all white, but she is.
The song acted out how grown women get talked down to, made small, turned into something cute and harmless. Then, the ending.
Wife, I make you feel so high. I make you feel like lie, but I don't wanna. Wife.
That line carried everything. The refusal. The decision to walk away from the role written for them. Korean broadcasting system labeled the song unfit for broadcast, citing sexually explicit lyrics. Cube Entertainment confirmed they would not change a word. The group performed it anyway at award shows. Conversations around gender roles and expectations spread fast online. At the same time, another song from the album was quietly growing.
영원했던 나
A B-side about chance meetings and emotional damage climbed charts without promotion. It stayed at number 1 on Tencent for 37 weeks, topped Genie's 2024 annual chart, and reached number 1 on the Weekly Circle digital chart. The pop, punk, and funk sound showed a lighter side without losing emotional weight. The album also carried Revenge. The video showed a woman killing a man who had assaulted her, with the members helping cover what followed. Fans quickly connected it to former member Soojin, a symbolic response to accusations, loss, and loyalty. The timing, close to Soojin's solo return, only strengthened that theory. In July, they came back with
Honk, honk, hit the klaxon.
a summer track with Y2K energy that proved they could have fun without dropping their usual style. Even then, controversy followed. Lifeguard outfits featuring the Red Cross symbol led to legal issues under Korean law. Another reminder that pushing ideas forward sometimes meant crossing lines, even unintentionally. By this point, it was clear. Their music was no longer reacting to the world around them. It was speaking straight into it. In 2025, the rebrand everyone expected finally happened. I-dle officially became I-dle, dropping the G that once stood for girl. It matched something Soyeon had been saying for years. They were not a girl group. They were just I-dle. To mark 7 years since debut, they released a special EP titled We Are I-dle, re-recording past songs with the 5-member lineup. It felt like closing a door properly before stepping forward. On May 9, they followed with a pre-release that changed the focus completely. This time, the song centered on friendship, not romance.
I don't give a fuck about love, 'cause we are I-dle.
It talked about choosing your friends over bad relationships, poking fun at terrible boyfriends while celebrating the girls who stayed. The pop rock sound felt light and sharp at the same time. It brought everything back to one idea: women being there for women. In a culture where romance often overshadows female friendships, the song hit close to home. Comment sections filled with stories from girls sharing how the song felt like their own experiences. 10 days later came
Goodbye, baby. Baby, I let you good.
released with their 8th mini-album, We Are. The title track got into retro sounds, mixing 8-bit elements with second-generation K-pop energy.
Holy moly shit. It's a good thing.
The playful holy moly hook stuck easily. It sounded fun without feeling empty. The production goes back to the early 2010s, while Soyeon's writing kept their usual sharpness. Compared to earlier releases, it felt looser, letting the music carry more of the mood. Together, Girlfriend and Good Thing showed what the rebrand really meant. They could laugh, celebrate, and still say something that mattered. January 2026 brought something no one expected. 8 months after We Are, I-dle returned with Mono, featuring Skywater. The song arrived in stark black and white, under one line.
Play the whole world in mono.
Everything familiar disappeared. No bright colors, no loud visuals, just simplicity. Released on January 27, Mono moved in the opposite direction of their past releases. Where earlier comebacks went for loud ideas, this one pulled things back. Minimal production, space. Skywater's verse pushed the sound somewhere new, rougher, and more open. The message was quieter. Mono was about ignoring outside voices and paying attention to what you actually feel. Minnie said the song focused on the melody and lyrics, without dressing it up. Black and white fit the idea perfectly. No distractions, no layers. Just what remains when everything else is removed. It was a different kind of confidence. By 2026, the results were obvious. Perfect all kills, million-seller albums, global recognition. But numbers were never the point. The real impact showed in what changed. Topics once avoided starting to show up in everyday talk. Feminism, identity, mental health, self-worth. Slowly, more artists followed. More women took control of their music. More stories felt honest. I-dle said things others stayed quiet about. LGBTQ plus love when it felt risky. Confidence when perfection was expected. Doubt, anger, and insecurity wrapped inside songs people actually wanted to play. From the start, I-dle understood something simple. You don't need to be afraid to speak. You don't need to shout either. Say what you want. Say it smart. And let the music do the teaching. I-dle dared to be bold. Will you?